Okay, folks, we're live. Our ranks have been decimated. It would appear that we only have 4 members sitting tonight. Myself, Diane Coombs, Connie, and Joe. Now, so we're going to make of this what we can. But for those of you, remind me why you're here. 12 Pilgrim. Is it a new application?
It's a redo, isn't it?
I just don't want you to have to sit here and, waste time. I see where it is. Oh, it's right up. Okay. All right. And for those of you who are listening in on Zoom, a lot of these applications will not be heard due to lack of quorum or whatever. So I'm gonna move into it and see how it all goes, okay? So for the one person in the room, just if you could mute your phone and also let us know if you're gonna record any of that Pilgrim Road thing you're here for. That's that. Anybody on Zoom, careful not to screen share. Address all comments through the chair. That's kind of it. Welcome to this, what I think is going to be the very short meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. Now, because we're a hybrid, because Diane, you are on Zoom, I just want to do a roll call just so that our minute taker has the board, okay?
Yeah.
So when I call your name, just answer in the affirmative. You know the drill. Okay, so Joe Paul.
Aye.
Thank you. Connie Patton.
Aye.
Very good. Diane Coombs.
Aye.
And I'm Ray Pohl for the record. Thank you. Could I have a motion to?
Motion.
Thank you, Diane. That was a motion to approve tonight's agenda. On that motion, Joe.
Aye.
Connie.
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Okay, we have approved agenda. Now, we do have a first item, which I'm going to bypass. The other, well, actually, this is really quite easy, and we can just knock this one off, all right? I don't think anyone will have any objections whatsoever to this. Okay, so somebody has taken the initiative on creating an educational video outlining what our HDC policies are regarding solar, the use of solar panels and so forth. Now, they just want us as a board to endorse this. Does anyone have any objections to somebody doing that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I would like to add something if I could.
Yeah, sure.
There's a new thing I have been getting posts several times a day of solar panels made in this state, in this country, not somewhere else, that are very different looking. And you can, like my house, the garden faces south, and there's that wall. You can put them on the side of the house like that, where it would get the sun. They fit in, and I think it's interesting enough. I thought I would write to them or call them and see if I could get some information about it.
That would be great, Diane. Yeah.
It gives you much more ability to use solar panels because they don't have to go on the roof and they don't have to be on the front of the house. So I thought it was worth looking at. So I'll do that.
Totally terrific. Yeah, anything that you can provide would be great.
Yeah.
Does somebody want to just say that we, as a board, move to endorse the creation of the educational video regarding solar guidelines? Then we've memorialized it.
Can I ask a
So
question?
moved.
I'm going to hold your motion, Diane. Joe has a
Oh,
question. Yes, Joe.
We're just endorsing the moving forward with it. We're not endorsing the actual video.
Content? No,
Yeah,
we're just
yeah.
endorsing the fact that they're going to create it.
Sounds
Yes,
good.
and I'm sure we'll get another crack at it if, editing is what you're considering.
Yeah, just making sure that it's accurate and applicable. Makes sense.
Good point. Okay, so in terms of just moving forward with this effort, Diane has made a motion for the HCC board to endorse this effort. Very good. On Diane's motion, Connie,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Diane,
aye.
and I'm in favor. All right, so that's that. Thank you all. I was reviewing the consent agenda, and it would appear that none of the four of us need to recuse. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Okay, so if no one needs to recuse, and if there are no questions regarding any of the items that are on consent, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Diane has made a motion to approve the consent agenda. On that motion, Joe,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Consent done. Consent with conditions, same thing. I think we can all sit on it. So would
I make a
somebody?
motion to accept consent with conditions 1 and 2.
Very good. Thank you very much, Diane, on that motion. Joe,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Diane
Aye.
on your motion, and I'm in favor. Now, I got this, I haven't heard from Lisa, but I'll check in with her, but she's holding. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, items number 2 and, excuse me, 1 and 2 are to be held.
1 and 2. Okay, so does that mean that we have somebody for West York Lane? All right. On Zoom, presumably. Right?
Yes.
Okay. If this is Peter Carey on Zoom, could you unmute and give your name for the record?
Hi, yes, sir.
You're Peter, right? Hello?
Hi, can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah. So you're Peter,
My name's
right?
Peter Carey, and the property in question is 6 West York Lane.
Okay. Walk us through what you would like to do, Mr. Carey.
Yeah, it's basically a bizarre story. This shed was requested by a firm that I contracted with called Structures Unlimited
Yeah.
7 years ago, and it was built, and I used the shed for the past 7 years, and my wife and I listed the property, and we actually sold the property December 20th. And my attorney, Mr. Cohen, said, "Oh, by the way, you have an open building permit." In other words, the construction firm never closed out the building permit. When I researched it with Nikki in the building department, she helped me get a copy of the original request from Structures Unlimited, which you can see the drawings there, number 9 and number 10. And they are slightly at variance to what was actually built. And Nikki instructed my wife and I to request a variance to allow approval of the shed as built. The only real issue is the door has no lights in it. It's a solid door, and the trim is a kind of a gray color. It was supposed to be natural, but they painted it gray. And I think that's it. Although they were supposed to put in a louvered vent somewhere, but that was never installed. So again, none of this was known to me for the 7 years that I lived in that house. And I actually used the shed joyfully and had no complaints from any of my neighbors or anything like that. But to clean this up for the current owners of that property and to get my name off the book, so to speak, I'm requesting a variance.
Well, we don't grant variances, but I think you just want retroactive approval for the shed that's been in place, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And it would appear that the shed is attached to the house. Is that correct?
Yes, it's actually kind of a studio. It's not the main house. It's a small studio at the in front of the property. And but yes, it is attached to answer your
Okay,
question.
so the piece in question is just the added on piece. And the drawings show the studio in the background, but that's not part of it. It's only the piece, the small piece that's appended to that.
Correct.
Okay. Does everyone understand this one?
I do now.
Does anyone have any questions about it?
No,
Okay, are we all pretty much fine with this?
yeah, make a motion to accept the precondition of this, of little, the little shed with the door without windows and there's no, venting.
Okay, so Diane, you're approving as submitted, correct?
Right.
Very good. Thank you for the motion, Diane. On that motion, Connie,
Aye.
Joseph,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. There you go, Mr. Casey, Mr. Carey, you're legal now.
All right. Thank you, sir, and all of you.
Come out of hiding. Okay. All right, thanks. How about, Linda's here, 41 Orange. Linda, I don't need to tell you, it's at your discretion with the four-person board that's
Yeah.
composed the way it is.
This is simple. You can't see it from anywhere.
Okay, very good. Fine. Just letting you know, that's all.
I know the drill. 41 Orange Street. We were in here for other stuff on the front building some time ago, which has been completed. This is the cottage that's in the back. If you want to put it up on the screen, please. It's in the back. I put in a bunch of pictures, which are probably on your tablets, where you can't see it from the street. The piece on the right side of the house that you see is the actual addition, the laundry room on the front house. So the back house is completely hidden. We're rearranging some windows and some doors and sprucing it up, re-shingling. Can you see the pictures? I've
You mean
taken
the
chimney
photo
out.
pictures?
It's a newer structure. I think it's 1996 or something, and they're taking the chimney out was there for the oil burner. That thing on the right is not the building. That thing on the right up there is actually attached to the front house. That's the side entrance to the front house, so this building is behind that. One story. And I gave you pictures of it anyway. That's looking down the side of the house. That's still not the structure.
Oh, Abby's here.
You can barely see the right corner of it looking down the sidewalk there. So we're replacing windows, placing doors, moving things around. Pretty simple.
Don't know.
Mr.
You
Chairman,
have Abby, by the way.
Abby's here.
Yeah, Abby,
Hi,
hi. When did you come in?
just as Linda brought this up, but I don't really understand the project.
Well, I'm gonna have you not be on just this
Okay.
one since you arrived
You see
as
the
she was
pictures?
giving her
See
narrative.
the pictures up there? That's standing on their rear deck, looking down on top of it. So those two doors are going away in favor of window and some changes on the left and then re-shingle it. And we're taking the two, keep going if you want to go. There's two little transom windows. That's becoming one window if you want to go to the next one.
Which one? Which one's becoming one?
Those two
The
are
one up-
being separated.
Linda, the
Um,
only visibility of this
It's
building
standing in the yard, yeah.
at all, yeah, I mean, it's
So I figured
Orange
I'd just
Street.
show you what the structure looked like so you can see it.
Yeah, okay, but literally only visibility from Orange Street, and then that little chunk that's coming off of the house is kind of blocking it
Yeah.
from the road completely.
And they're about the same height, so.
All right, I'm going to invite questions from the board on this one. Does anyone have any concerns, questions on this?
Where was the chimney?
On the back.
Did you
side-
say
keep
where
going
is
on
it?
the pictures. If you go, keep going the pictures. Somebody? Keep going. There it is. It's on the back. It's an oil burner. Those little transoms are coming out on the right side. Keep going. There's the part of the chimney. You can
I
it
see
from
a
the
little bit of the
backyard.
chimney.
Yeah, and then there, you can see it right there.
Keep in mind, Diane, that like basically none of this building is visible from a public way.
And it's a 1990s building.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, if you look at
Oh.
the, or 72, and then it was redone and put into this format. It was like a shed before that. So
Okay.
what you see is modern.
I guess
Or-
I have one question.
Yes, Joe.
If there was an elevation visible, it looks like it would be the east, which currently has French doors.
Correct.
And you're taking the French doors off and replacing them with a single double hung window.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Does that vent have to stay there?
Not visible anyway.
Right, that's what I mean. Even if the elevation that's most visible is really being made more appropriate.
Conforming,
Yeah.
sort of.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Joe has just made a motion to approve as submitted. On Joe's motion, Connie. I think it could have, but here we are. Thank you. So Connie's a yay. Diane?
Put your microphone on.
I will say yes because you can't see it, but if you look at the all the houses right around, they all have chimneys, and if you took that metal thing off that chimney, it's a beautiful, well-designed chimney. Why are you taking it out?
Because they don't need it anymore. It was oil burner.
I know.
And it's not an old chimney.
What's the age of the chimney?
It was put in when they redid the building and turned it not from a shed, but into a studio. More
In
recent.
in 72?
No,
No, after that.
more recently than
When
that.
when they took it out of being what it was and made it into what it is now.
All right. Well,
So,
I'll say yes.
okay. Diane, thank you. Joseph?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. So
Okay.
there's one down. Now, Abby, how you doing there?
Did we lose her again? Picture disappeared.
She's just muted.
Abby, I think you're muted. I want to make sure that you're here.
Sorry, I just dashed out for a second. I'm here.
Okay, so are you going to participate on 12 Pilgrim?
Sure.
Okay, so let's move on to that, 12 Pilgrim.
You have seen, well, those of you who sat on it, which is, I don't believe Connie or Joe sat on it, but you are here. We had to submit the grading plan and the section plan and the landscape plan in order to get the house and the garage approved at 12 Pilgrim. This is where the old concrete building was with a red top. So this has been, the house and the shed were in here quite often. So this is just bringing in the formal application of something you guys have already seen, because we had to submit it as part of the approval for the house and the garage. So we've got the driveway, we have the irregularly shaped pool, which he bought somewhere, the patio and the spa in the back, and then you have the fence and the retaining wall and the walkways and all the other fencing, which you've all seen. Most of you have seen. So if you keep going down, you'll see a lot of the same stuff that we submitted before.
Okay, Linda, that's it, right?
Yep.
Now, I know you would like to speak on this, right?
Yep.
Come on up, and we'll make sure that that mic is on for you.
Work?
Speak, you gotta get closer.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Sounds, yeah, I think it's on.
My name's Kristen Graham, and
There you
I'm
go.
at 11 Priscilla Lane, which is abutting this property on the side where the pool and spa are going to be. And I wish I didn't have to be here again to speak on this, but the main reason I am is that the plan as drawn and submitted is actually not accurate. it's showing my fence going the entire length of the property line. I submitted pictures. I don't know if they got in to this. Hopefully they got emailed to you. But so it's showing the fence going all the way to that corner of that triangle. And my fence actually only goes to where my house and driveway meet, which would be probably just about where his house ends and the pool starts. So that would not, it's misleading because it actually wouldn't be screened in by my taller fence.
It would not.
It would not. It means there's no already pre-existing fence there where the pool and spa are blocking them from the road. So it's making it look more screened than it is. So there'll be greater visibility of the pool and spa from the street in both directions since my fence isn't there. The fence that's proposed that they're building is lower than the street because of the grade. So it won't provide, I don't think, as much visual screening. That said, I've had concerns about how back fences were going to work if they had the fence above the retaining wall, which was the original plan. So I do appreciate that they've moved their fence below, in front of the retaining wall rather than on top of it, because it gives a little more distance between the fences. So I guess since the pool and spa will be visible from the street in both directions, I would ask that the applicant would be required to have adequate year-round vegetation in that triangle area to screen from the street.
All right,
And
Miss-
did you get the pictures that I submitted? I submitted pictures of,
I don't remember seeing
When did you
them.
submit them, though?
I sent them yesterday. I mean, there's some that I've sent every meeting. This was
Right.
on the agenda. And then I just yesterday sent more updated since I thought I needed to resend them.
They're probably in there, but they're not attached to my file necessarily. So Esmeralda can find them. Just to point out to the neighbor, there is a fence from the garage to the side, from the fence from the house to the garage, and from the house west in front of that patio. So it is completely screened from the road. So there's a fence going all the way across in between everything, up from the Pilgrim Road side.
From right, I'm talking about from Priscilla Lane.
Priscilla Lane can't see it through your house, through the other house.
Yes, you
and
can. That's
it's
why,
lower than Priscilla Lane,
It's,
fortunately.
she's,
that's
But,
why I submitted the pictures.
you know,
If you're driving on Priscilla Lane,
and we don't have our fence up or our screening up yet
so
either,
that's
guys.
from driving on Priscilla Lane in one direction.
I can easily see from the aerial photo how it would be possible to see it from Priscilla.
Remember, there's a
Yeah.
fence
And those
around it
pictures show if you were driving on Priscilla, that's where the spa would be.
with a fence.
So do we have we do have the pictures.
Yeah, these are her pictures.
So that's going one
Perhaps-
direction of Priscilla. So that shows that only where half of my fence. It doesn't go the whole line.
Our
and that
fence goes the
corner
whole
where
line.
my fence-
Please,
That
right.
corner where my fence isn't is where the pool and spa would be.
right.
With our fence.
And then this is, if you're driving one direction on Priscilla Lane, that would be your view to the pool and spa. And this would be coming the other direction. I think there's one more as you pass. That would be looking right down into the pool and spa.
Okay.
And they've drawn it as if there's a big tall fence and it's not there.
Well, it will be.
No.
All right.
Our fence
I'm
will be.
What I said in my presentation is that they have a retaining wall and their fence is below the retaining wall.
Yeah.
So because of the grade change, it won't be very tall, I don't think.
Correct.
That's what I was trying to
It will
point
be a
out.
6-foot fence, and it will be cut into the grade. If you all remember the original house
Is-
plans, it's cut into the grade. But in any case, your condition on every one of these pools and spas is that it cannot be visible at the time of inspection. If it's visible at the time of
Well,
inspection, we have an idiot, we have a
Y-
problem.
Yes, Linda, that's true, but, you know, basically, if we approve something like this, it's gonna be hard to go back and say, oh, you need to add more. And so I get the issue. The issue is, the good news is that the fence is on the low side of the retaining wall,
Right,
but that is also the bad news.
right.
Because now, it doesn't say how tall the retaining wall is, but, you know, if it's, let's just say 2 feet, that means you're net looking at a 3-foot high fence.
Now, the retaining wall is higher. If you go back to our
That's-
Oh,
application,
well,
you'll see
then
the section.
more to the point.
You've got a section up in our application that
okay.
shows you the whole thing.
Okay, rather than beat this one back and forth, it sounds
we-
like your main concern is the
Visibility.
pool. Would that be fair to
Uh,
say?
The visibility from the pool, I have another one, which is more about the mechanicals.
Oh, okay, why don't we let you finish?
Okay, so then in terms of the mechanicals outside, the original application, which was for a different design, had 2 condensers and 1 generator next to the shed.
Yeah.
And the pool equipment was in the shed basement. The current application has 4 condensers, 2 by the shed and 2 on the other side of the house, closer to the pool. There is no generator shown. Even though the location of the pool has changed to the other side of the house, the pool equipment is still located in the shed basement, which would be great, but I'm curious if piping all the way around the house is even possible. I just would like to be sure that the pool equipment doesn't end up somewhere else, like where the 2 new condensers closest to the pool are drawn. And I also am wondering if there is going to be a generator. And I guess finally, I think everything that's going on in the area of the pool and with the visibility, I think it would make more sense to relocate the condensers that are drawn on that side of the house back to over by the shed.
Okay,
And that's all.
got it. All right, thanks. And that is actually a seriously good point about the location of the equipment with respect to where the pool is. You'd essentially have to run it right through the foundation of the main house.
Would you want an answer? Because he's right behind you. Chris is up there, and I believe Spencer's up there, if they want us, Mr. Chairman, to have some
Well,
clarification on
Okay,
this.
we should probably get this to the board's comments, all right? How's that?
Right.
all?
Well, he has a right to answer that question about where the condenser stuff and the pool equipment's going.
All right, you want to answer the question?
Chris or Spencer?
Yeah. Okay. So the
This is Chris from
condensers are gonna-
Eric for
yeah.
your edification for that.
Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me here?
Yes.
Okay. The condensers are going to go on the location where it says on the map. Simple as that. That's where they'll be, and we will make it work from where it is.
Where's the
There's-
pool
there's-
equipment?
there's
Yeah,
no-
that-
there's no-
That wasn't the question.
Pool equipment.
I mean, I'm check that. I meant to say the pool equipment. I apologize. The
What-
pool equipment's going to
Saying
go where,
the pool equipment is going in the shed basement, right?
correct.
How's it
Okay.
getting to the pool?
Well, you know, I'm not a pool installer, so I can't really.
There's no distance that you have to have it from, the pool area. Obviously, the closer it'll be, that'd be great. But there's no set distance on that. You can take it from there and we can bring it out. We can bring it over.
Okay, fair enough. But of course, we are all here to talk about the appropriateness of this design.
All right, Mr. Chairman, can you go down one page and look at the section up there? Or in
What's that,
in your
Linda?
things, look at the section. Because we required to have it before. If you want to keep going, please. Keep going. Keep going, right there. Or if you want to move it left, I guess. There we go. There is a grade change. It is dropping. And there's another house, guys. We're not on the corner of Priscilla Lane. There's a house between us and Priscilla Lane, which also has screening and a backyard and trees. We're not touching his trees. So the question is whether it's going to be visible or not. And with the screening, we don't want to see the road any more than he wants to see us and then Kristen wants to see us. So it's below grade, below her house, and it's going to be below Priscilla. And it's going to have trees, and it's going to have a retaining wall, and it's going to have a fence. So you're not going to be able to look into the yard as well as you can look into the yard right now, because we're dropping everything. So, you know, your caveat, if it's visible at the time of inspection, then we got to put another fence
Okay,
and more screening. That's what you
Alright.
do every time.
okay.
It's not whether we
Fair
like
enough.
pools or not, because I'm not a pool lover.
Linda, thank you. I want to finish this application before 8:30 tonight.
Am I, may,
Right.
am I allowed to ask something else or not?
Sure.
Okay, I guess I was just, since they were speaking to the mechanicals, I was wondering about the issue of 4 condensers where there were 2 before and a generator.
Well,
All
they're
right, would
surrounded
you
by a
like to
4-foot
answer the-
fence and nowhere near the
Linda,
road.
who would you like to answer the question?
Well, I'm telling you where they are
Getting tired.
and why.
Guys, can I answer the question, please?
Yes.
There's no generator going in the property.
Okay, thank
Is the
you.
answer.
Okay.
Can I make as a commissioner, make a remark that would make this maybe a little
I
simpler?
want to make sure that everyone has said their piece before I move to the commissioner. But I'm going to get right to you, Diane.
Okay,
Okay. And it seems that time is upon us. So Diane, would you like to begin?
yeah, what I would like to say, I think it would make it easier is to have a view of what's there.
Well, that's an interesting concept because a lot of this is being discussed with only the benefit of photographs.
Right, and it's going to go up and all this stuff, but the house is now under construction and we should see some solving of the problem. So I would make a suggestion for a view.
All right, let's see what Connie and Joe have to say. Guys?
I'll go. I have a few thoughts.
Thanks.
I think if I take the site plan at face value, which makes sense, it's well annotated. It says the pool equipment will be below the shed. Looks like there's an areaway or a Bilco door to get down to the shed, which probably is one of the reasons why the condensers aren't over there, because there probably isn't room for all 4 condensers there.
Correct.
So that says to me that, you know, the pool equipment will be below the shed, and there's no indication of a generator. Regarding the fence that you have indicated as 5 feet, one thing to note, I think, for the neighbors, that because of the shape of the pool, they need to have a fence, right,
Yes.
by code, and that needs
Yeah.
to be at least 48 inches high.
Mhm.
And when I look at the cross section, and it says where the retaining wall, it says the retaining wall max height is 3'6". So if you've got a 3'6" retaining wall with a 5-foot fence up against it, you have an 18-inch fence. Worst case scenario.
Not
Right.
48.
Is
You're-
my
you're
math
absolute-
correct?
And it's as measured from outside.
Right. So, because, yeah, right. From the uphill side, you need a 4-foot enclosure.
Yep.
So now if there's space between the fence and the retaining wall, then you meet code. But anyway, I think this is just a notice to the applicant. I mean, it looks like the height of the retaining wall maximum is 3'6".
Right.
It looks like it gets down to next to nothing. I think that your 5-foot fence on the interior probably needs to be slightly taller in order to meet code, which would also help mitigate the view. All that said, I would love to take a look at it just because the orientation of the lot relative to the 2 streets and the information that we have, it's a little bit tricky to absorb all at once.
Got to see it.
So, but from what I'm seeing, I feel like it's won't be that visible if you make your 5-foot fence slightly taller.
Okay.
Okay.
Those are my thoughts.
Joe, thank you.
Yep.
Connie?
Yeah, I have nothing else to add. I would be in favor of a view.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion?
I made a motion.
Ray, did you want me on this one? It's Abby.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
Abby,
here.
yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes, Abby.
I'm in favor of a view.
Okay, yeah, let the record reflect that Abby is sitting on this application. Thank you. I'm so sorry that I
And I'll
forgot.
mark where the
um,
pool is, so you
yeah.
guys can sort of get an idea of where it is spatially.
Okay, that's a great idea. All right, so Diane's motion is for a view, and I would append to that motion any revisions that would help us with the idea of
6-foot fence.
invisibility from Priscilla Lane in particular. On that motion, Joe,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Thank you.
So
How about we go 281 Matticat Road?
wait a second, guys, I'm sorry, I'm confused. What do you want me to do? I'm not understanding a view. What do you mean a view?
I've got it, Chris.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just confused
I'm
here.
sure Linda would
Got
tell
a
you.
view.
They're gonna take a view and I'm gonna mark where the pool is.
And we just need to have confirmation that everything's going to be adequately screened.
In a 6-foot fence.
I'll do a 7-foot fence. I'm fine with it. I'm whatever.
No,
Doesn't
I
Okay,
got it.
moving right along. So now we're at 281 Matticat.
And this is definitely not visible. You have to airlift in here.
281.
If you're familiar with Leslie's property, stay right there for a second. Thanks. If you look at the GIS map above you, those two lots are combined. Her house, her cottage, and her garage, the lot behind the blue line is combined with this line, but this is a separate lot, technically a separate lot, which is why it's only one address. But for zoning purposes, the two lots are combined because you can't have a pool on a lot by itself. So she's putting the pool on the site plan where you see it on your pads. And all that screening between it and the road is remaining, and she has a substantial amount of landscaping in there. Flowers, plants, trees, you name it. So that's where it's going. I know it's a little atypical, but this is a huge lot with the two lots combined, and the pool is fairly close to the house, but still on this lot, solely on this lot. But it doesn't have to meet setbacks anymore, so it could run right up against that blue line because the two lots are combined for zoning.
Now, I see Mickey in the audience. Is there anybody here from Matticat that Matticat Advisory? We haven't heard from them in a while.
Mary was
They
there.
don't exist.
What?
They don't exist. I was the chairman of.
Mary Bergman it said that she was here for Sconset.
This is Matticat.
Yeah, this is Matticat.
Oh, I thought you asked about anybody from Sconset, right? Sorry.
No, but
No, we'll
Matticat
get to that
Advisory
in a
Board
minute.
doesn't exist
Okay,
anymore.
so Linda, you've said your piece on this pool.
And you can look at the site plan up there or on your pads. And I took pictures from her roof, so you can see all the screening. And that's from what's left of, I think it was Washington. We're looking southeast from her roof. The red line is where the pool's going in an area that's already been cut.
And is
Where
that
her yard is.
Matticat Road?
Yeah, way
right
out there. Yeah. I took a picture from her roof going towards Matticat Road and towards a bunch of pictures from the side road and a bunch of pictures from the dirt road that goes to her driveway.
Linda, now that I get this, could you go over again? It's a separate lot, but are you combining the lots?
They have to be combined for zoning purposes now.
Because
did a
of the
perimeter plan.
accessory thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's a
okay.
pool on a
So
lot
they
by
are
itself.
being combined.
Yeah, and she's already done a perimeter plan at the planning board.
Okay, very good. I'm going to turn it over to the board. Board members, what do we think of this?
Well, I can say something.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, I would like to go do a view, even though I worked with Leslie on this house when I worked for Chip, like in
Decades.
1998 or 99 or something. So,
Mm.
and it's got 3 roads around it. That's why I'd like to take a look at it. It is very rural for sure. But it looks like there's no fencing or anything, right? This is all at grade and it's a
At
deck.
grade, automatic pool cover. Nothing, I didn't want to disturb any of the vegetation, which
Right.
is year-round. And she can't build in that setback anyway, but I gave you like 25 pictures of it.
Did you take a picture between the two structures from Washington Ave?
Yeah.
Is that what you,
If you keep going, they're in there,
that one?
right there. And it's on the other side of the tree, on the other side of the driveway, on the other side of the cars, and on the other side of the bushes. Down,
Right.
actually down in grade from there, because Washington Street is low, and this driveway actually goes uphill. And then this drops down behind it, down to the yard. And then I took pictures from the side road, which are farther down in this grouping here, if you want to go down further.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more grown
There
in
you
than I
go.
remember it.
That's from the beginning of Washington. That's from turning around the corner. That's her cottage on the left. So, I mean,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
impossible.
Let's not less back and forth. Joe, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, but
It
you-
looks well screened, a lot better screening than I recall. That was 20 years ago.
Okay,
She put a lot of money in this.
thank you. Who's next?
I'll go.
Well, I'll go.
Connie beat you to it. Hang on.
All right.
Sorry, Diane. I'd be
Hi.
okay with this, but I'll go along with the view. That's
Okay.
the board's pleasure.
If you still need to do one.
Thank you, Connie. Diane?
I would go with a view, number one. Number two, I'm really surprised.
You're really surprised?
Yes,
At what?
I've known Leslie for a long, long, long time.
Oh. Okay. You mean, right. I know where you're going with that.
When she's not golfing, she'll be in the pool.
Yeah. Okay. But it sounds like you're leaning to a view.
I think a view sets it in your mind so you have
Right.
something to say.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Abby?
Yeah, I'm okay with the view. Also a little surprised. She's a good golfing friend of mine. But it looks like there's a lot of vegetation. Initially, when I saw this, I was worried about from Nantucket, sort of holes in between the vegetation. But learning more about this, it looks like the vegetation is going to screen it. But let's go for a view. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
And the pool, I think, is about 50, 60 feet off of Nantucket Road, if not farther.
I have a question for the
Site
applicant. Just,
Yeah.
there's the red is the deck that's surrounding this, right?
At grade.
Yeah, and there's a 10 by 20 section towards I Street, which
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious if that's intended to be, which would be in your favor, of course, a future shed,
Yeah.
since that's a zoning shed. So it looks like visibility would be further screened by a potential structure. I know it's not drawn or before us yet, but it makes sense given that layout that
It's
that's what that
coming.
would
She
be.
just didn't have a plan for it yet.
Okay.
Okay. All right. The consensus, I believe, is that we view this before we commit to it.
Can I come
Okay.
back next week?
Yep. Well, let's let that be someone's motion.
I make
Yeah.
that motion.
Okay, Diane has moved to view this and have it returned to us next Tuesday. On that motion, Abby?
I'm an I.
Thank you. Joe?
Aye.
Connie?
I
Diane?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. All right, now I have something down as 250 Matticat. Is that next?
That's across from it. It's a house in the back. Anybody who is familiar with Chris, who used to work on all of the cars back there,
Oh, yeah.
back in the day, if you had a
Oh,
Volvo.
yeah, Chris Whitty.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a done deal
Chris
back
Whit-
there. It
And
has
Brian
gone to, it has
used to
gone to
live
the
in-
planning board and been subdivided. And you've already approved some movement of these structures, removal and stuff like that. And this is where the house is going. There's a new house on a separate lot in the back. And I gave you a bunch of pictures looking up the driveway. So it's way in the back and not really going to be all that
Right.
visible. You approved the exact same house, it's a Dreamland, exact same house somewhere else, which was more visible than
Can I
this.
ask a question?
Yeah,
I'm looking at my documents here.
Yeah, we don't have
It's
it.
not on there, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's up there. What's not
Well,
on
there's
there?
two,
There's two 281 Matticat roads. I mean, I wonder. If one of
No,
them
it
is-
should, the one has got, one
Oh,
has
yeah.
to be the 250.
yeah, one is all photos and one is the
If you want to stay
application.
right there,
Photos of the.
that's the site plan, and that's where the house is going.
Do we have drawings of the house?
Yeah. Want to keep going, I guess.
Okay, so is Chris's old shop the one to the
On the
right
right.
of the purple?
Yeah.
So it's set back there.
Yep, it's on its own lot now. You can see the line sort of coming in from the road, doing a curve around.
Yeah.
That's that lot.
Okay, so are we all okay going with what's on the screen?
Sure.
Because we don't have it in our package.
So that puts Diane and Abby at
Bless
a disadvantage.
Diane and Abby, are you able to,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you can't see our screen, so you don't know what's going on,
They
right?
should be able to.
Well, I'm looking at, I'm on my iPad.
Okay, I'm telling you. It is not on our iPads. It's not on
Okay.
here.
Well, I want you to know, that's not my fault,
Well,
because it was submitted and
let's
scanned.
not point the finger of blame.
I know, but I want you
I'm
not to
just
be yelled
saying
at
that,
like
it's-
usual.
It's unfair to proceed with this with only the three of us being able to see the screen. So,
I can
Can they
see it
see
at
it?
home when I'm home.
Mr. Chairman, they can see it. I'm
They can
sharing
see it.
screen on Zoom.
oh, you
Yeah.
guys can see this screen?
Yeah,
I can see the drawings of the house.
Perfect.
Oh, all right, then let's continue.
because we can see them at home when we're chiming in.
Because I think that's.
All right.
the
So this structure,
front.
you've approved exactly this structure, but closer to a road someplace else. They couldn't remember where. So they use these drawings because he liked them, and some of the weirder things are not visible. And that faces the road, but you really can't see it. It's up over a rise. I took a picture from the road. If you want to go back to the picture from Nantucket Road, guys. Esmeralda? The picture from Nantucket Road, I think they're probably after this. No, keep going. There's actual pictures from the road. There we go. There we go. That's looking up what is potentially the driveway, and it's up and back in there.
I can't see the site, I can't see where it's cited on the lot. Can you?
Go up, if you go up and see the building on the left in the back.
Oh.
That's
Okay,
that
there we
building
go.
to the right, so it's directly to the right of that building up the driveway.
Okay, thanks.
Good, what, 7,500 100 feet off the road?
All right,
While we're on this plan, can I ask the applicant a question?
yeah.
So the house is rotated as shown here in the
Mhm.
dashed plan.
Yep,
Is the gable end pointing towards the,
west, northeast.
okay,
And I can't see it from Arkansas because there's a substantial grade change. So it's up higher for some reason, and then there's house there, which
Okay.
doesn't show on this thing.
Okay, there it is. Joe, do you want to continue?
yeah, if you could go to the elevations. I just wanted to understand nothing's really facing the road,
No, it's canted.
right? So this elevation labeled as front is facing interior to the lot, kind of towards that ranch that is on the other lot. Is that right?
No, I think it faces the one next door, sort of. You got to go back to the site plan. It's a box, let's put it that way. It's a modular, it's a Dreamland modular. So the front door faces upper left, northwest, Joe?
No, that's
Or else it's north?
that way.
No, it actually does face northeast.
This is the gable.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we've got this long
That's
side
the
is what you
eave.
see
Yeah,
as you come down.
northwest, and that's northeast. Okay,
so the one that's labeled as north is northeast. The one that's labeled as west is
It's
northwest.
yeah. At Dreamland, it's either east, west, north, or
Okay.
south.
Well, they should fix that. Okay, Joe, continue.
Yeah, I guess if we could look at the elevations, please. I just wanted to understand which elevation, okay.
Okay, so that faces toward the back of the other house, basically.
Can you go to the next two? Those are the ones that I guess you see obliquely. Okay. So the one on the bottom here, we're seeing that and the other gable as we come down the
That's what you're
driveway.
going to see most of, Joe.
Right.
The so-called west elevation.
Not the one on the top, the one on
No,
the
I
top,
just said
just the
that.
one on the bottom. I can't see what
Right.
elevations are up there.
Okay. What are the colors and the materials on this?
Application page, Esmeralda?
Oh, dual black, Hamilton blue, black sash. Okay.
I said it wasn't gonna be white.
I mean, overall, the house looks appropriate to me. I think it's slightly unfortunate that the the story and a half wall, the least appealing elevation, is kind of canted towards the driveway and is potentially the elevation that's visible.
Except that you can't, if you look at the one next door,
Linda, stop rebutting him.
Yeah.
and how far
Continue,
back
Joe.
it is.
Linda, stop.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with the detailing of the house per se. I think it's more about the orientation relative to the road.
Thank you, Joe. Sorry, guys. Who's next?
Could it be reorientated? No.
Can we look at the site plan again? Sorry.
It's right on the setbacks.
Joe?
And if you're going out to take a viewing of the other one, you might as well take a viewing of this one, because you can't see it.
Well, I want to speak first. Joe?
Yeah, I don't have any issue
I
with the
do too.
architecture. I'd
Yeah.
love to see it rotated so that the gable is facing the street, frankly. Only because I think it's going to be a much nicer approach, and if you do catch a view of it, you're catching the side that to me feels the most Nantucket-like. And I know that single-story ranch you can barely see from the road, so it probably would be good to do a view. Looking at it graphically here and not having time to digest it before the meeting is definitely contributing to
Yeah.
needing to go out there and take a look at it.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Diane, go ahead.
I agree with Joe. I think straightening it out, I don't see any reason for it to be tipped like that. If you come up the new drive and around the Brian's old house, which is 250, is straight on to the facing Nantucket Road, and it is a fairly old house, so it has sort of classic windows and doors, and actually the same with Chris Whitty's garage, and everything is sort of existing facing the Nantucket Road and Arkansas. The result, I would like to see it, and I would like to perhaps have to know why it should be tipped.
Is that it, Diane?
That's what I think.
Okay, thank you. Abby?
Yeah.
Nothing to add. I think it's weird that it's cockeyed too, so. That's it.
Connie?
Yeah, I have nothing to add. I agree with what's being said. Thank you.
Okay, could you guys, Esme, could you take it back to the shot, the photograph looking down? The,
Driveway one? That one.
that. Okay, look at the context. All single-story buildings. I think it's grossly overscaled for its context. Grossly.
You go take a viewing,
Okay,
because I took a picture of the other ones around it.
thank you, Joe.
Woody's-
Okay.
Woody's is the only one story over there. It's not on the same lot anymore. Those are not one story back behind it.
All right.
On Arkansas.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
You viewing?
I would motion to do a view.
Okay, there it is.
But do you want to do a view?
Yeah, Joe has already
I'll
moved
make
that.
a mo-
No,
Yeah.
Joe has done it. On Joe's motion, Connie,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane. Up, Joe.
Aye.
Aye.
There's Diane, and I'm in favor. Okay.
Now, I had, just so you know, if you're going out to view, I had trouble finding it because you can't see Woody's house at all. So you had to look for that split rail fence. It's the only way you're gonna find it. Because otherwise, if you're looking for Woody's, I couldn't find Woody's at all. We do have a sign right on the split rail fence, but you gotta see it to know that to stop there on the bike path.
Yeah, because I had this on consent. I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
couldn't
had to
find it
look.
either. I had to get
Oh,
off and look.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I've been to Chris's enough times to know where it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you
yeah.
can't see Chris's house anymore. It's really weird.
Yeah. All right, so now we're on to 20 South Water.
Yeah.
20 South Water.
Now, there's not a whole lot to say here. You've already approved it on the old police station. You've already approved it on the town building. They oddly, the town doesn't really have to pay for the Information Bureau because they were able to Chantal secured a large grant to upgrade the Information Bureau and put the same windows in so we can order them all at one time and move on from there.
Okay, so it's just this one building here.
Yeah, because we already did the other two.
And you're looking for
The same window.
SDLs.
Yeah.
Mickey Rowland representing the Historic Structures
Of
Advisory
course, I
Board,
object as usual.
Yep.
which is myself, Angus, Lucy, Jason, Finger, Marcia Fader, and Sandy Kendall. We have no concerns.
Oh. How can you object to that?
Well, he had no concerns about Main Street either, and everybody objected. So let's not go there.
Well, I wouldn't object to his comments.
Well,
And who
they
he
didn't have any
represents.
concerns about
Anyway.
126R.
Let's not get into the weeds on that one.
Mhm.
Okay, what's the, I'd like to hear from my board on this one.
Linda, sorry, question, are these the same windows that we're putting on the town building next door?
Yeah, the town building and the old police station. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Same exact-
okay with
They're
it.
gonna
Yeah,
order
it's
them
the
all at
same
one
drill.
time.
Yeah, we are, I mean, I said yes to those. I can't suddenly say no to this.
So you're good?
Yes,
Actually, let me rephrase this. Is anybody against this proposal? Bless you.
No.
It's, okay, so why don't we move it?
motion to approve as submitted.
There it is. That's from Abby. On Abby's
Make a
motion.
move.
No, Abby's made the motion. So on Abby's motion, Joe,
Aye. Excuse me, aye.
thank you. Connie,
aye.
Diane, Abby,
I'm an aye.
okay, Diane. Yeah, you're there.
Her light came on, so I know she's talking.
Yeah.
Better than the regular. And I'm in favor.
I'm an aye.
There's Diane. Okay, very good. Okay,
Thank you.
there's that. Now things get a little bit fun.
That was me.
Not with you, I don't think. Our first old business application has Stephen, not here, Val, not here, Carrie, not here. Connie is here. Diane is here. Do we even have anyone to represent this? We do?
I am here. You're
Okay,
right.
so now listen, Uri.
Yeah.
We could cobble together a board for you, and it would consist of Diane Coombs, who it would be chairing, Connie Patton, and Joe Paul, who's listed as an alternate. Do you want to move forward with it, with the three-person board? And do you know how this works? Basically, if you don't get where you want to be, you can always have one or two members from the board that have only missed one meeting mulling back in.
Yeah.
Your call.
I think I was waiting for a while, so I think I should do it. At
You
least.
think you should do it?
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, it's
all right,
kind of
fair enough. So Diane will be chairing, and Connie and Joe are going to be giving their opinions. So Diane, you ready? And P.S. We have the same thing is
Okay.
going to happen on
So,
what, Diane?
Yeah, I have 4
no,
applications
I
there.
just thought he
So-
could start giving his,
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is going to be 4 applications.
Yeah.
All at 61 Fairgrounds Road, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna step back.
So the first one is the house at the lot D, which you requested at the last meeting to show the street view, including all the buildings. So this is what I added, where you can see a lot D height of the house that we are proposing, which is pretty much the same height as the rest of the other buildings. I think that's what was confusing, or you didn't see how the house will fit into the street view. So that's what was added. And yeah, it clearly shows it's not
all right.
higher than in the
And
houses.
what is your height for this?
It's
right.
27
And that
foot
is
7, I think.
what you are here,
Yeah, that's where the height,
what revisions are you calling for?
the revisions. I changed
What
the
height are we looking at? Of the, what?
so to explain again.
Do we have a
is-
height?
Yeah, we have everything.
Mhm.
We are changing from what was approved a long time ago or a while ago. As you see the previously approved elevation, it shows 28 foot 2 to grade height, which with the design that was approved, it's not possible to
Okay,
build
so,
like that.
so it's,
That's why I'm changing the design to have 2 full stories, 27 foot 7 height, and it fits into the streetscape with the height. So that's the main change, changing from dormer to the full 2 stories, and a little bit of fenestration.
and it, okay, and that is the proposed, the west elevation, you are changing that also?
Yeah, everything is changing. Yeah, adjusting to the new height, so it works
Right.
with the whole massing. And on the west elevation, I'm adding those 2 little windows on each side.
Okay, so that is your west elevation proposed with the 2 windows and adding a little bit, it looks like, to the roof, to the eave
Yeah,
up there. So I got east and west. And do we now have any change in the south or the north,
Yeah, there is a south elevation.
Yuri?
We are on the south elevation, just adding a window well, and then same thing, the height is changed on those 2 ridges. And
Okay,
which
that
one's the
is the
last- the
south
last-
elevation. And you are,
yeah. And then north elevation is the same thing,
okay,
changing the roof height.
and you're taking Right, and you're
I'm sorry?
taking those dormers out of the south elevation, right?
Yeah.
Says omit, I said you're removing the dormers from both, yes, okay, just so we
Yeah.
know what all is changing. All right, so let's get some information, and we will start with Joe Paul.
Yura, I have a question. The streetscape, we're looking at lot D, correct? The structure on the
Yeah.
left?
Yeah, lot D.
Okay. I'm on sheet A201, which shows the side by side of the east elevation, which is the front. Yeah, there. I'm a little confused. It looks like these elevations side by side, what was previously approved looks to be significantly lower in height,
Yeah.
but it's labeled as 28'2" on the previous one, and the current one is labeled 27'7", which sounds like the height got less, but it looks like it got 3 feet taller. So that, I mean, all of them, when I look at all the elevations side by side, so that's just I guess that's a graphic question, but when I look
No,
at the
actually,
streetscape
I'm
on
sorry.
A205, and I think
Yeah.
it might be to your benefit, frankly, to hold these. I don't know, it might be too late now, but I would encourage the other board members to come back on, because I remember listening to this and them asking for a site plan that showed all the buildings together, which you have. The site plan's great, and seeing where the pools are and understanding the streetscape, seeing that they're not all aligned to the street, that's good. You've got a gable forward on the far right. In the center, you've got a full 2-story. And then on the left, lot D, you previously had a nice story and a half. And I think that there was some variation to the streetscape. So in my opinion, the changes that you're making aren't helping your streetscape. And I think that the other board members, I think, were concerned about the streetscape in particular. So the structure itself as an independent structure seems appropriate, but it's essentially next to its twin, with the exception of a porch, and that's a concern. Anyway, those are my comments.
Can I quickly respond?
Yeah, I thought
Because
we
you were
didn't have
kind of
that.
asking about those heights. So what Joe noticed that the height is lower on that existing or previously approved elevation. That's why I am actually doing this whole application. That is the main reason why I'm changing it, because you at the some meeting, previous meeting, approved this left elevation with the condition that it will be 28'2" high, and it cannot be built at that height. That's why I cannot be built as like this with the dormer and having the eave aligning with the middle of the window, like a 1.5 story. So that's why I went to full 2 stories and I get the height that was closer to the height that was requested originally. That's the main reason why I'm changing the whole streetscape or the design, that east elevation mainly.
So are you saying, Uri, through the Diane, that the previously
That answer is
approved
for you, Paul?
Sorry.
No.
It sounds like the previously approved elevations that we're looking at aren't accurate. Is that right?
That's all right. Go on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why, and I'm trying to fix it. So we can actually build it at that height.
Yeah, actually, I think it's more than just that datum line, that invisible height line from grade. I think it has more to do with the massing of the building being so identical to the lot that's next to it that is problematic for me. I might be alone in that.
Yeah. And you have that 27.4 and 28.2. And I think it would be good to wait until you had it together and a proper drawing of what the height is and that reason. So I don't know what you would best like to do. I have a question. If you want to hold this until next Tuesday, if you can have the drawings more specific with what you want and the height, which is important, and those changes. So what do you think, Yuri?
Diane?
You want to hold?
Diane,
whole
I'm sorry,
thing?
I'm gonna do a little bit of a point of order here.
Maybe I
So
should
the
help
applic-
her full board then.
Diane,
Yep.
your eyes, please.
Okay.
We're doing a point of order. The application has been opened. This particular application has been opened. There is a 3-person board.
Right.
We have not heard from Connie. I think that the proper protocol here is to hear from Connie and then vote as if it were a regular application, because you are in the middle of a review process. So that's my advice anyway. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. That's good. Well, I would take your advice. So, Connie, what have you got to say that you would like to say?
So I would suggest that we would hold this for revisions, and to have the proper dimensions labeled, because I'm also confused at the height. And I have to agree with Joe that this looks just like the building lot C that's labeled cottage next to it, except for the porch. That's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, I think a motion for revisions
All right.
is
Well,
is really
I
a
am
technicality,
on
right? And I think that I would second that motion. I think that makes sense. You didn't just make
Okay,
it.
well, I was just going to say, because I'm on this also, and I would like to see the final of all 4 elevations, because I have a question with the mold windows. And so I would go and take the motion for hold for revisions and further information, perhaps. So, Joe, on that motion.
Aye.
Okay. And Connie,
Aye.
on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm an aye also. So
Diane?
now we have the
Well,
other
Diane, I think,
pools and.
I
Yes.
think that all these, the remainder should be held until next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I need to hold those pools.
Yeah.
Next.
And
Yeah,
obviously.
I do too.
Having a consistent set of drawings with accurate heights represented would be most helpful. Yes, exactly. Okay. Now, I think, did Lisa
Yes.
officially say she was passing on?
Okay.
Okay, well, let's obviously move beyond that because I don't think she's on.
Now,
Is anyone here for 4B Goldfinch? Is that, no? No one here for?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, nobody here for 4 Goldfinch. And now, let's see, 63 Baxter. I'm on it, Steven's off, Abby's here, Diane's here, Val's off, alternates Patton, 1, 2, 3, Patton and Paul. Is there somebody to represent this?
There is Mr. Jeffrey Lee. He's moving over it right now.
Hey, Jeff. You there, Jeff? Oh, you may want to unmute. Where's that? Old business. Jeff? Is he muted?
He is. I've asked him to unmute.
Yeah, Jeff, you need to unmute. Yeah, good idea. Let's see how our board is on that one. Well, do we have somebody to rep 28 Norwood Ave?
Yes.
Okay.
Ray, can you
So-
hear me?
Hang on. Wait, who was that?
It's
that
Jeff
Jeff?
Lee, Ray, sorry.
Okay, all right. So now we're back to 63 Baxter Road. Okay? The board is myself, Abby Camp, Diane Coombs, Connie Patton, and Joe Paul. Okay, Jeff, why don't you tell us where we are?
Okay, so the last meeting, the comments that I received was the pool was too large. That it was too visible, not screened enough, no screening plan there. Thought that was a little too far north, that it could have been aligned better with the guest cottage to screen from Baxter Road. So we did the following changes. We reduced the pool from 20 by 40 to 16 by 32. We moved the pool to the south as requested to align with the guest house. And we screened the pool, the entire pool, with a 6-foot perimeter fence. And then on the outside of that fence, privet.
What was that, Jeff?
And the outside of that fence, privet.
Privet. Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Now, did I understand that Mary Bergman is on? Did somebody say that to represent Sconset?
I saw her in there.
She was what? Is anyone here to from Sconset Advisory? No. Okay. So we're gonna have to go it alone. Who would want to begin the conversation?
Is Abby? Abby's on this, right?
Abby is on it. Yeah.
I mean, I can go if
Yeah,
no
that'd
one
be
else is
great.
speaking up. I appreciate the changes. I paid it. I was sitting at I wasn't on this last time, but I remember thinking that the pool needs to slide, and it looks like it's done that. It's hard to argue that this would be visible given the layers of screening that you're suggesting. We have a board fence and we have a 6-foot privet, which I think it would be helpful to have that thickness of that privet dimensioned so that we know that it's like a double privet, but And I think be helpful to know what the gate looks like. But it's hard to argue about visibility when you've got a fence and privet there. So, and it's screened from Baxter by the other structure. And it's screened from the pedestrian path by a low row of privet plus this higher row of privet and a fence. So it seems like they've done their job of screening this, and a passersby would not be aware of there being a pool there, which is the point. So, like, those are my comments.
Okay, Joe,
I can
thank
go,
you.
Mr. Chair.
Was that Abby?
It's
I would
Abby.
like to go.
Hang on. Did I just hear
Oh.
Abby?
Yes,
I
yes,
would go.
Hold
I
on.
would go too.
I know, you can go right after Abby.
right. So this path it's a historic path, and I'm not sure why it's not actually a historic sort of, hands off. It's been there since the turn of the century and goes along with a lot of the shingle style houses that are up and down the Bluff Walk. There are no other pools, and screening this pool sets another precedent that doesn't exist. So I would not be in favor of this application. And I really would be very sad if this passed. Thank you.
Okay, Abby, thank you. Diane, your turn.
Can I go?
Yeah, it's your
Yes.
turn. Go ahead.
This would be the only pool on Baxter Road on the water side. There has never been a pool that has been approved. You have how many 6-foot fences go along the walk that you can't see, and obviously there's something behind it. It is not architecturally, historically appropriate to have a pool on this location. And this is part of what the HCC is supposed to consider, along with the other houses that are set along Baxter Road and carry a historic background. It is, to me, totally inappropriate. The fencing is inappropriate. The hedge, which in the winter goes, and in the summer, the yards are open onto the water. They're not fenced off. They never have been. I am just sort of shocked that it would be considered, but I don't care if it's 16 by 32 or it's 10 by 15. It is a pool, to me, is not appropriate on Baxter Road at this location. Okay?
All right, Diane, thank you. Connie?
Mr. Chair, I think there, Rob from Sconset Advisory Group also
Oh,
he's not, I don't see him, but he did have, they did opine on this.
well, who's going
The
to,
last time, yes.
well, yeah, I remember them saying it last time, but
I'm
who's
just
gonna,
saying that the Sconset Advisory Group was not in favor of the pool, and I think that should be acknowledged.
okay. Connie, you want to go?
So I'm really torn because the applicant did do what was asked. However, I am in agreement about the actual pool on Baxter Road. It would seem a shame to
But that's
put a pool there. that's my thoughts. Thank you.
Okay, Connie, thank you. And I feel the same way. I feel like this double row of privet, and it looks like the current privet from the photograph. I'm looking at some people standing there. It looks like you could look over this privet right now. I might not be correct on that, but regardless, having the double layer privet, both of which are, as we all know, deciduous, still allows for there to be visibility. And I also think it's creating sort of this artificial kind of maze in what is otherwise a very open landscape. So I'm not in favor of this. Can we have a motion on this?
Mr. Chair, do you mind if I make one
Yeah, go
comment?
ahead.
Just to,
Go ahead, Joe.
since I'm the
Yeah, of course.
the odd one out here, I just wanted to clarify something. I'm not in favor of the fence. I'm only in favor because I think it's going to be screened. And the way I look at this, if the applicant was here to do an enclosure for an English garden,
Would we be
we
approving?
probably would be, we might be debating the size of the fence or the design of the fence, which was going to go natural, and then it's also going to get screened. And that whole road is these rooms that are made with vegetation, and there's tennis courts there. There are things that are, how do I put it? The vegetation's very architectural. I'm not trying to argue for it, but
Well,
I look
it's a
at
good
it,
point.
I look at it from that perspective. And then once let's say the client gets the fence and the privet approved, and it's a lawn that they want to enclose, then they're going to put a pool inside it. Well, I understand the concept of being upset by it, but it's a little bit of a slippery slope, I think. So
Yep.
I just wanted to clarify my position on it. I'm not looking for everybody to build a pool along Baxter Road, and I appreciate the history of it, but I have a hard time arguing against the pool based on visibility alone.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my position.
Point taken.
Mr. Chair.
That's you, Abby, right?
Yep, yeah, it's Abby Camp. I was wondering, I don't know how Diane will get there, but I'm sure she can figure it out. I don't know if we've had a view on this, but it's really worth everybody to go and see what this will look like, given its historic content. You know, that this path was built for the public to be able to walk there all year round, and that it will set a very odd precedence. And I would ask for a view, just, you know, to make sure everybody, before they vote.
Okay, that's fine. I would also sort of, to your point, there is a way, publicly traveled way, that runs down the side of this as well. So it's really, three sides that we're talking about, three sides of exposure. Baxter being one,
Right.
Bluff Walk the other, and the way the third. So maybe we move for a viewing and some possible revisions to the proposal. Could that be somebody's motion?
That would be my motion.
All right, that's Abby's motion.
Yeah.
On Abby's motion, Joe?
I make a motion.
Oh, no, there's already a motion on the table. So Connie?
Aye.
Thank you. Diane?
Aye.
And Abby on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. There we are. Now, let's see. Does anybody want any pizza? The pizza's here.
Sure.
Would it be possible to get some input on what revisions you'd like to see?
Oh, well, you better eat it.
Well, Jeff, basically, take our concerns about visibility and all that, and that would be whatever, you can choose not to submit revisions. I don't know. You just have to review what was said by various board members and see whether there's any way to accommodate any of the concerns.
Well, I thought we eliminated the visibility by putting the fence in, but is it the style of fence is my question?
Jeff, I can't answer that on my own.
I don't know what his question was.
What? No, Jeff was saying, is it the style of fence? I don't think we could narrow it down to like the style of fence. Jeff, all I can tell you is you should review, even look at
I think it has,
we've already taken a vote on this, so theoretically, we're not supposed to be talking about it anymore.
Okay.
So we're gonna break for pizza, folks.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, what the heck? Okay,
Kevin.
so 28 Norwood, who is that?
Kevin.
All right. Okay, so Kevin, myself, Diane, Abby. That's it.
Good evening, Kevin Bates applicant.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, this is a house that had apparently been put before you previously, and I guess there were concerns about roof height and
we can't hear you.
can you hear me any better now?
How's that, Diane?
You have to put your mouth almost on the thing.
Yeah, it's better. He wasn't
Not
talking.
quite.
Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello. There we go.
Diane, can you hear him?
Can you hear me, Diane?
Yeah, I can hear him now. Whatever
right.
yes, I can hear you. There's something wrong with the mics, because sometimes, Ray, when you're talking, it disappears. Your words disappear and come back 2 or 3 seconds later. The mic reception is not
Okay.
doing well.
Well, I can't explain it, so
just
why don't we just move
problem.
along and pray? Okay, continue.
Okay, so
Yeah,
apparently,
right.
apparently this was before you previously. And my understanding was there might have been concerns about the roof height, which is below the maximum, and the roof pitch, which is the same pitch as probably 60+% of the houses in the neighborhood. I'm off in the brush, the end of a dead-end road, which is nowhere to anywhere. And I'm not sure if there were any other concerns, but basically I would be looking for it to go forward as is.
Okay, so just something for you to know, I'm sure you already know this, but what you are citing below the maximum is a zoning maximum of 30 feet. We routinely supersede that.
Okay.
Okay, so board members, here you are. No revisions, it's the same as the last time we saw it.
Mr.
Who would like
Chair, just to,
Yeah.
did you just say the height was not changed?
Correct.
It did not change.
Okay, thank you.
Who would like to begin?
I could continue. I still think it's too tall, and I think it could come down quite easily a couple of feet. Other than that, I don't have any concerns.
Okay, thank you, Abby. Who's next?
I'll go.
All right, Diane, go ahead.
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with Abby. It's 29 foot and it should come down. It doesn't, the windows on the second floor can come down and bring it closer to the beam across. It's too tall. 20, that's 1 inch from the full height, and the area that it's in, the houses are not that tall. Thank you.
Okay, Diane, I feel the same way. I was concerned about the verticality of this building before, particularly the northeast elevation, also known as the front. So we're going to move for revisions, Kevin. And what I would suggest to you is that you get at least one other board member back on, Val Oliver or Kerry, because it's going to be difficult for you to proceed with a 3-person board, because you're going to have to win 2 of us over.
Okay.
Okay, just a suggestion.
Um,
All right. Now, so can I have a motion from either Abby or Diane on hold for revisions?
I make a motion to hold for revision.
Thank you, Diane. On
Visions.
that motion, Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
thank you, and I'm in favor. Did you understand what I just said, Kevin?
I did, and I realize you voted. Is it something that is an issue because it could be, or would not be an issue if it were not able to be seen?
Well, theoretically, yeah. Theoretically, yeah. But I would definitely encourage you to have at least one more person on, perhaps 2, ideally. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Mike Conley, come on down. Or who, Mike, are you going to be doing the talking or somebody else?
Well, Val.
Val is not,
And she's not here.
she's taken ill. Yes, she has.
So I'm trying to help out.
Okay.
This is my,
Okay.
what we're doing is we're moving house from 104 Surfside Road to 150 Surfside Road.
Okay.
And so it's a 1-story, pretty much square with a little L on the one side. The positioning on the site plan is basically due to the fact that it would be easier to move it because we just have to slide it onto the truck and then bring in the truck straight into the yard and just slide it off the truck. So that is the yes. Yeah. So Val
You know
has it
what,
right.
Mike?
That
I don't want to
smaller.
preempt you here,
Yes.
but I mean, I think we could perhaps make short work of this. I think the whole issue was that when Val came in last time, she had 3 sides of your building. The one side she didn't have was the side that faces the road.
Right, which is there now. That deck is not the deck that will be on there.
Which one is it,
It's the
Mike?
west.
Okay, so
That's-
does
that
everybody
faces
understand?
Surfside Road.
West?
West.
This was like the question that held this whole thing up. West elevation, which we now see, is the one that faces Surfside Road.
Yes.
Okay? So now your board, Mike, is myself, Abby, Diane, Paul, and Patton. Everybody. Okay. Comments?
I can go.
Yeah, Abby.
My first thoughts, I remember this from last week too,
Yeah.
or that from Nantucket Road, what we see, I don't remember ever seeing a deck like right off the road.
Now, wait, hang on. Mike's tell us again about the deck. The deck is
Some
on the
surf-
current house.
Yeah, the deck is on the current house. It's not going to be, that's 12 feet. We wanted to just have an 8-foot deck on that side.
Did you hear that, Abby?
And then a 8-foot
Yeah.
deck on the south side.
So, sorry, Mr. Chair, through you, there will be a deck.
There will be, it just won't be as big as the one that you're showing, or that it shows in the photos.
But the problem is that when you're going down Nantucket Road, I mean, it would, geez, there would be vegetation.
Surfside
Yeah,
Road.
it is Surfside Road.
Sorry, sorry, Surfside Road. I mean, normally you would have some sort of screening, like vegetation, between the road and a deck. Am I
Yes.
wrong?
No, we're definitely, what's gonna have to happen, because it's a house move, you're gonna need to take the vegetation out so the house can get onto the land,
Mhm.
and then we'll screen it in with trees, and
Right.
we have so
But-
many plants on our property right now that we can just move them around.
Right,
You
let me
can't see
just
the
finish
main
my
house
thoughts.
on the road at all.
Okay, just to finish my thought, that the driveway with, I think it's 2 cars, that is not going to be able to screen. So I think the problem is the viewpoint from the driveway. But maybe what we need here is a landscape plan and not just where you're putting the house. So we really understand what we're going to see.
Okay, is that it, Abby?
Thank you, yes.
Thank you. Who's next?
I can go. I just wanted to
Oh,
see the see the site
no.
plan.
Hang on, Diane, Joe's talking.
Do you mind enlarging that? This is to Abby's point too. That's a question for the applicant. Hi, Mike. As shown, you have the parking area directly in front of the deck, and I share the same concern that Abby expressed, which is you're going to see down the driveway at the deck. Does that really represent where you think you're going to park the cars, or would the cars be, what direction is this? North of
Yeah,
that?
No, that was the plan, but then we're gonna screen it in, so the only place you'd be able to see anything was on the south side of the cars, on the road. The bike path is on that side, and the driveway is there because we don't want the crossover from the bike path from the west to the east side on Surfside Road is just south of that driveway. So that's the reason why the driveway is there, is because we don't want to cross over the bike path is right there.
Were you thinking of taking the cars and just flipping them to the south side rather than the north?
Yeah.
And then you'd be able to plant the deck out.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Just
okay, yeah, that's fine.
Your curb cut would stay exactly where it is.
Yes.
You'd take the cars, flip them to the south.
Perfect.
You'd still be close to the door.
Yep.
And then you'd have the opportunity, to Abby's point, of just planting the whole front of that.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Then you wouldn't have to
not a
look at those
problem.
cars and bikes.
Yeah, I think a little bit of green on a site plan with that change would do it.
All right. Joe, thank you. Who's next? We got Diane and, oh, Diane, you were next in line. Yep. Diane?
On the Surfside Road in front of the little yeah, I'm here, and this is the point. I'm not muted. I'm and you can't hear me?
No, we can hear you
I
now.
don't know. Anyway, I agree. I agree where it's going. It's good. What I wondered was what that little box was in the front of the dwelling? Is that a
Th-
garage
Those are,
or is it where the cars are
two
just gonna
parked
park?
cars.
Just down from where you have the,
It's almost like there's a delay.
oh, okay. No, we're to put the cars around on the side, on the south side. And then that house will be right there and it will fit in very well. Take the cars and put them over where it says 9 by 20
Okay,
area,
yes, exactly, Diane, where it says 9 by 20,
okay?
correct. Yep. Thank you, Diane. Connie?
Yeah, right where your little arrow is. Right.
I agree with that. I think that would be good. Thank you.
Good, Mike?
Very
All
good.
right, so here's what we're gonna vote. All you need to do is take this plan, flip the parking over to the other side, show us some vegetation between Surfside Road and your deck, okay? Submit that to the staff. That's called a staff approval, and then they'll issue your certificate,
Thank you.
okay?
Yes.
Now we're gonna vote that now. Can I have a motion, please, from someone?
I would make the motion to approve with,
Make a motion to approve through staff. I'm already doing it. I don't know. That's a crazy,
Diane, go
crazy
ahead.
thing.
Diane, you gonna finish your motion?
Yeah. Oh, no, I thought that Joe was making a motion. My
He's deferring to you.
hearing me comes and goes the same way that I hearing you
Yeah.
comes and goes.
There's some kind of lag going on.
Well, make a motion to approve. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's crazy. Anyway, I could make a motion that says we approve the house with through staff approval of moving the cars to the from off the front of the house to the south. Is that good enough?
Diane, it is, and Joe is actually drafting an Exhibit A, and you can say as per Joe's Exhibit A.
As per yeah.
Okay? Great. Thanks for the motion, Diane. Abby?
I'm a no because I
That's
wanted
okay.
to see a landscape plan, but can I make a suggestion about Diane because it's driving us crazy? Is there a chance that Diane could log out and log back in and maybe get a better reception?
That's a good idea. We're taking a pizza break after Mike.
Okay, could you suggest that?
Did you hear that, Diane? We gotta get a motion here. Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
So Abby's against. Joe?
That's been
Joe?
going on since about
Aye.
2 o'clock afternoon.
Okay, Joe's in favor.
Aye.
Connie's in favor. Diane, on your motion? Diane? Okay, we're going to assume that you're in
Aye.
favor. Okay, there
Aye.
we go. And I'm in favor. Okay,
Aye.
we're now going to take a 5-minute
Yes.
break. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
I saw you with it.
Okay.
Hi.
Can you mute yourself because we're being recorded?
I can't stand it. Anyway, I know, I can't even imagine how these guys do it. Anyway, anyway, so, it was like, you know, it wasn't really windy by the time we were going out, but it's kind of moving back and forth. And there was, because of the storm, we just had the, I was super hot. It was like, no place to move. So we had to, we had like a landing line set up, yeah, they had to set it down, because the water was right up to the bottom of the tank. This is Aqua.
Abby and Diane, if you could unmute and let us know that you're back with us. We're here.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, very good.
I did
I'm
contact
here.
Diane. If
Abby, you did what?
I contacted Diane and I hope we can hear her better.
All right, well, we'll see. All right, so now we're on to new business of January 9th. First up, 50 Cliff Road. Do we have anybody to rep this? I'm not necessarily sure we need anyone to rep this. Adrian, no? Okay, let me just put this question to Mickey. Mickey, have you reviewed this? This is that shed over by. Okay, because we're looking at it like, okay, is there a catch here or what? Okay, so this, folks, is, you can see from the photograph, it's a lean-to shed. It's on the property. It's something natural. They want to replace the window and they want to re-roof. It was sorely, sorely in need of re-roofing. So, any comments from the board? Oh, and P.S., Connie is recused, so it's the rest of us. Anything?
I have no concerns.
Joe has no concerns. Abby, Diane,
I don't either.
okay. Abby?
No, no concerns.
No, that was Diane. Abby. Did we lose Abby? Abby, you're still muted.
Sorry, no concerns.
Okay, can we move it?
Motion
Motion
to,
to approve.
Abby has made a motion to approve. On that motion, Joe,
aye.
Diane, Abby,
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
Thank you. I'm in favor. Okay, for bird song, Brooke.
Aye.
Yep, got it, Diane.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So these are revisions to a shed that is behind a house on 4 Birdsong Lane. The west elevation will not be visible because it faces the back of the house. It has a large glass expanse, but I will maintain that it's not visible. And then on the north elevation, there is a hood, and the door has been moved around to the north side. So this, it may be visible from Angola, but I believe there has been a subdivision down there, and I suspect that there's probably a house that's going to be going in there eventually. Not that that's necessarily the best argument, but that's, but I think in the future, it will block off most visibility of anything that
just
people
had to
might
get
find
this-
objectionable.
Get that in a second.
And that's
Okay.
it for now.
Thanks, Brooke. Mickey.
We felt that this wasn't going to be very visible, so we have no concerns.
Okay, thank you, Mickey. Board members, it's all of us.
Am I on this? I have no concerns.
You have no concerns.
No.
Very good. Okay, next.
I have no concerns, and I think it's an attractive, appropriate structure. I like the revisions.
Okay, thank you, Joseph.
I'll go. I have no concerns.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. All right. Let's
No
see you, Diane.
concerns.
No concerns. We can move it. Let's go.
A motion to approve as submitted.
No.
Okay, so Connie has made a motion to approve as submitted. On that motion, Joe,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane, Connie,
Aye.
Diane, there we go, and I'm in
Aye.
favor, okay.
Aye.
All right, that's it. Now we're gonna move along to, Ben has a number of things going on down there at Mariah Mitchell, right?
The aquarium.
Yeah. He's gonna tell us all about this.
Nice.
Ben, go for it.
All right, so this is 28 Washington Street.
Yep.
Mariah Mitchell's aquarium. Technically, it's owned by the land bank, the land. And a number of years ago, Mariah Mitchell's lease on this land expired. And it's been up to Mariah Mitchell to create a new aquarium somewhere else. And the land bank would now like to take back their land. So we are vacating the aquarium from this land from a renter's perspective. So the aquarium was built by our dear friend Mickey Rowland in the late 90s.
Huh.
The original structure on the lot was predated that, is rumored to be a piece of the railroad. It was, yeah, we do think it was. So we call it the ticket building. It was built associated with the railroad. I can't figure out from where, but I did submit a picture of a structure that looks a heck of a lot like it that was in Tom Nevers. It's somewhere in the packet here. And the intent, there you go, there it is. So I can't claim that that's the building, but it has a very similar shape to what ended up down on Washington Street. So it could very well be that when the railroad was decommissioned, they brought that little ticket booth building, or that little building down there and left there. Could have been from a different part of the railroad. It could have nothing to do with the railroad. But there is a picture in the file that shows the building with a little thing that says part of the railroad on it. So it is, we love this building and want to keep it. But the rest of the aquarium is going up for move off or demolition. So the intent is that we will take the railroad ticket building and move it off site and temporarily store it across the street on Mariah Mitchell's property at 33 Washington Street. And we have, and maybe you saw it in the paper a couple months ago, a larger project for a new aquarium at 33 Washington Street. And this railroad building will be used in that project again as the ticket building for this project. That's in the future. The plans are not finished with that, but the intent is that we are saving this building. Mariah Mitchell is going to store it for about a year, and then it will be incorporated into the larger. Oh, there's the picture, and it's all whited out, but it's supposedly that corner board says railroad, associated with railroad or something. Wow. So the intent is that this building will be used for the aquarium in its new location when that happens. But right now, the land bank is saying, please vacate our property. So it will be moved and stored across the street, and that's presented to you in a site plan where it'll be stored. But the other structures, there's 2 tank buildings and a pergola and a lot of decking. Tank buildings are up for grabs if somebody would like them. They were built in the 2000s. The pergola is going to likely also be taken by Mariah Mitchell and stored. They're hoping to use it somewhere at some point, so that'll be moved off and stored for the temporary time being. And that's the presentation.
Okay, so thank you, Ben. Well, let's hear from Mickey on this whole thing.
We're glad that they're reusing, I guess, a couple of the structures, the main building and the pergola. So the other ones are new, so we really don't have any concerns about this.
And that was sort of a blanket overview of the whole.
Yeah, all these applications for that location, we have no concerns.
Got it. Okay, thank you very much, Mickey. So as I understand it, this building, the ticket building, is simply moving from the waterfront lot across the street.
Yep, it'll be temporarily stored in the parking lot across the street. The intent is that it'll be presented back on Washington Street as their ticket building when the new aquarium is built. So it'll be basically used exactly the way it is. Sure. But that aquarium building is still in its infancy in some sorts.
Right. Okay,
We're not ready to permit it.
got it. Okay, comments from the board?
I'm good with the next 4 applications.
Abby is good with the next 4.
Five?
There are 5 applications, but
Oh,
which one are you not happy with, Abby?
not, I'm happy with all of the 28 Washington Street things.
Okay. All right, thank you, Abby. Who's next? Who's next?
I share
I'll go.
Abby's sentiments.
Okay, so there's
You can.
Joe, he's in. Diane. Diane?
Yes, good. I'm up with her.
Okay, thank you.
I'm with her.
I heard, yes, thank you very much. Connie?
I also have no concerns.
All right, so I think, unless I got this wrong,
Recording
we
in
are
progress.
talking about all 5 applications, and it seems like there's no objection to serve the entire proposal.
That's my
If
motion.
so, I would like a motion that would just encompass items 3 through 7 on our agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Abby has just made a motion to approve items 3 through 7 on the new business agenda of January 9th. Got some background there from somebody. Okay, so that's Abby's motion. On Abby's motion, Connie.
Aye.
Thank you, Joe.
Aye.
No? Diane? It's cycling. Okay, Diane? Abby on your motion.
I'm an aye.
Okay, Diane? She said aye? Okay, and I say aye too. Okay, there it is.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, how about 5 Farmer Street? Do we have anybody to rep 5 Farm? What? So we'll pass that one. Oh, Chuck is coming? Robbie. Luke and Carrie, I think, are absent, right? They're not in, so we can strike those guys, and then that would go to Brooke next at Correa. So let's see if Robbie logs in, but in the meantime, let's direct our attention to 12 Correa. Okay? Go ahead, Brooke.
All right, I'm kind of waiting for the photo
Oh,
prompt.
okay.
Want to see which application. All right. Well, what do you guys want to do? Because if Rob's only got 1 application, I don't mind.
All
Because
right.
there's like 4 here.
Poor Adrian is bouncing around. One-armed paper hanger. Okay, Robbie, are you there? Robbie? Is he not on? Okay, we're back to Correa.
All right. Yeah.
I can go, Mr. Merbergen has something else to say.
Well, he hasn't said
I
anything
haven't said
yet.
anything. I've just been waiting.
Well,
waiting to
I
put
really
it in.
like the design, but anyway.
Okay,
All right.
so go ahead, Brooke.
Okay, so these are revisions to the main house. They're clouded. The west elevation is probably for the most part not visible. It's either blocked by the second dwelling or basically faces the neighbor's property. And if you scroll down to the to the south, that's again that faces Falcon Drive and private property on that side, so again not visible. And the east elevation, the building sits very far back on the lot, and again highly invisible. And that's it for that.
Okay. So Abby, you've already said your piece, I believe, right?
Correct.
Okay. Who's next? Anybody?
I'll go. I
Thanks.
have no concerns looking
Okay.
through the previous proposed and current proposed.
Okay.
No issues.
Thank you. Connie?
I have no concerns either.
Okay,
Thank you.
Connie's good. Diane? I will only say that I have no concerns.
I'd make a motion, but I don't,
Diane, I think you're muted.
I'll wait for Diane to be on board.
Diane, can somebody make a motion?
I was going to make motion to approve as submitted.
All right. Thank you. On that motion, Joseph,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Diane, Abby,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. No idea. Okay, Brooke, that was that. Now we're going to guest house studio.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
were there any comments from Holly? Because these were on consent a couple of weeks ago and I reviewed them and I was okay, but I think she had something to say about them and I can't remember what it was. Are there no notes from Holly?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Okay, I was just checking because I had these on my consent list and had consented them, but there was something she was interested in and I don't remember what it was.
So with this application, the north elevation is basically the only visible elevation, and it does sit back on the lot. And there will be plenty of vegetation, and it's already been planted. So if there are any concerns about that elevation, I think you will find that it won't be visible in the medium term.
Brooke, thank you. Board members. Abby, it sounds like you're probably in on all these, like you're okay.
Yeah, right. But I'd like to hear what other people have to say before I vote.
No, I just was checking.
Okay.
Who's next? Come on, guys.
Can I ask a question? What's the railing
That is black powder coat aluminum and steel cable, and it looks more opaque in the picture than it does in real life. And I think I actually, yeah, well, that's
Right, so that you can see through it. The sides look red solid, and then the
yes, you can definitely see through it.
right. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was horizontal boards. That's how I read
Oh,
it
no,
from
it-
the
nope.
cheek walls. Okay, yeah, I have no concerns.
Okay, thank you. Connie?
I have no concerns.
All right. Boy, I'm gonna try again. Diane? Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna proceed with a 4-person board on this. I'm fine. But can we have a motion?
A motion to approve is submitted.
There it is. So Connie's motion to approve is submitted. Joseph?
Aye.
Abby?
Right, aye.
Thank you. Connie?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Garage? Go ahead, Brooke.
I need my cue cards. In this instance, the north elevation is visible. It's 35 feet from the street, but I think it's a pretty benign elevation. The west elevation, there was some minor changes to that. And again, that's probably visible, but again, I don't think it's really a concern. South elevation, there is some glass, but that faces back towards the main house and is not visible. And then the east elevation will probably be a little bit visible on a kind of a isometric view, but again, we've got the steel cable. So it's basically transparent, and you won't really notice that there's a deck up there. But I think that's it for now.
Okay. Thank you. You're getting rid of the siding too, huh?
Yeah, that was a question I had. Is the siding becoming shingles?
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yes, that was a big change. Yes, it was barn board. It's going to shingles.
Okay. Anybody?
I'm good with it.
All right, thanks.
I have no concerns.
Okay, Connie's in.
I have no concerns, although I think your floor plan and the elevations don't match, but on the first floor, the south elevation, that triple door,
Oh, yes.
I
that
kept
was
trying
a
to find
miss.
that in the plan.
Yep. And you can't. So, yes, I will make that change. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. for
No,
you
no,
guys,
I have
so-
no concerns.
Okay.
All right. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve is submitted.
That's Joe's motion. On that motion, Connie.
Aye.
Abby.
Aye.
Joe.
Aye.
I'm in favor. There's that. Pavilion.
I would just correct the floor plan, because I think there's other windows on there that
Yes.
don't line up too.
Yes.
Sorry.
I could see that from here.
Oh, let's see here.
Who's in this?
I'll write it on the,
Okay, so you're getting a little bit of a pagoda roof here.
Yeah. This pavilion is back.
that was this
Hang
one.
on a
Okay.
second. This structure is back as far as it can go on the lot. And, while it does have the pagoda style roof line, I think that there's enough shingle there where it will eventually weather into the background. Plus the front area is planted. So if there is anything objectionable about this, I think it will be screened eventually.
Okay. Comments?
No concerns from Abby Camp.
What was that, Abby?
All right, no concerns.
No concerns from Abby. Okay. Anybody else?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
On the north elevation, there's two different styles on those columns.
Yeah.
Okay, so the on the right-hand side, it is a vertical board which is going to be painted gray, and underneath on the forward side, which is closer to the pool, it's a stone base, a stone plinth, and it's fairly low, and it's also a gray stone. So yes, again, up close there's there's some obvious differences, but again, from Korea Lane, you're really not going to see this. I think that the second dwelling blocks most of it. Yep, there you go. And it's also already been constructed.
Good to know.
I guess I have no concerns.
That's across the,
That's funny.
has it already been constructed?
Huh?
There's a photograph of it.
That's it right there.
Oh,
That
So
was
you
a
can see
that was a
that's
real
been
risk.
mocked up for the HTC.
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Everyone's in, right? Okay.
I just
Motion.
had a comment about the driveway and the view from, is it Surfside Road?
It's Korea Lane.
Korea, oh, they have their own lane too. So
Yeah,
it's so on the site plan, you have a green around the whole area, and then you have a driveway that looks more like it has a skinny throat coming off the drive, and then it opens up into this circular drive. Is that vegetation to the left and the right of that? So
yes, that is vegetation, and it is already in place and already planted.
yeah, so I would just say that, because I don't see a landscape plan that the vegetation be brought up, sort of so that the throat of this driveway is it's sort of screened, everything's screened. But we don't have a landscape plan.
Well, it sounds like we actually do have a landscape plan. It's a full-scale mock-up. Didn't you say that?
Yes, it's been planted.
It's already planted.
One thing that we could maybe do to help with the view of the pavilion is to pull the landscape line from the west towards the second dwelling and kind of cut off that view down the driveway a little bit more.
Yeah,
I don't think that would be too difficult.
Yeah, I don't know where we add that comment, but I think that's a really important thing to say.
You want to make the motion?
Well, it's on the driveway or on the pavilion?
Well, you could put it
You can
into the
condition the pavilion.
Okay, so it's a motion to approve with the proviso that the driveway get moved. What direction is that towards the second
Well,
dwelling?
I don't want to move the driveway. What I
No,
can
she
do,
meant the vegetation.
yeah,
Move it
is move
east.
the vegetation towards the second dwelling to help obscure the pavilion.
And that is
East.
east. Okay, that the vegetation move to the east to obscure the pavilion. That's my motion.
All right. Thanks for the motion. On the motion, Joe.
Aye.
Connie.
Aye.
Abby.
Aye.
I'm in favor. Okay, Brooke.
Is that it? Thank you.
That's it for now. Now, how about Robbie?
Okay.
Oh boy, there is something in the air.
Yeah.
Today, there is definitely something in the air.
Is everybody sick?
Not only is everybody sick, but even all the computers and the communication systems are all sick as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Comcast was down this morning, but it came back up.
all right, so, how about, 13 North Liberty? Oh, there you are, yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna last much longer.
Good evening.
Yeah, I think we should make it a short night.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the old businesses, only 3 people.
Yeah. Let's try and make it to the end of this new business. Try. You know, Val's not here for some of it. Stephen, go.
All right, great. Steve Rothke for the applicant at 13 North Liberty. The project that we're presenting tonight is basically some overdue maintenance along with some reconfiguration to a circa 1930 Dutch colonial, they called it in the historic survey report, with this gambrel roof. In preparing the application, and given the fact that it went to historic structures, we did do a little supplemental that I think is also part of your pack, but I used just some color on the plots to help identify what was staying and what we were changing. The intent, outside of the architecture, which we can review and look at, all of which I think is certainly striving to be consistent with the existing architecture that's there. There is an initiative to deal with some of the windows that are in the house. Some of them have reached a point of failure. We're able to actually maintain all of the existing front windows, which as best I can tell are original windows. We're proposing to, they're all true divided light, single glazed, 6/1s as you see in the drawings. There's no triple track aluminum storm on there, and the windows have suffered some as a result, but we are able to keep them. I've proposed that we're going to put an all wood storm with the typical stainless steel sort of hook and eye system that we've grown used to seeing from vendors like Green Mountain and what have you. So the only other addition to the front as far as windows go, and I'll just talk about windows for a few minutes here, is to add that that window that's clouded there in red on the second floor to the upper right of the front door. In addition to that, the front door has this kind of beautiful fan light that's always, at least as far as I can tell, has always been there based on pictures I was able to find. We're maintaining that. We have proposed to reconfigure the little front port entry, and I provided you pictures of what's there and also the existing conditions drawing. That element to me doesn't really seem to fit with anything else that's going on in this building at this point. And I don't know if maybe there was, it's a little bit gingerbready. I don't know if maybe there was more historically that's been removed over the years, but there's nothing that I see on the building at this time that really kind of jives with what that existing front porch is doing. So you'll see that we've proposed a little bit of a streamlined solution for that front entry that's more consistent with the exterior trim details on the building today. Around the side and rear, and in fact, any window that is in a remodeled area or in the area of an addition, we're proposing to remove the remaining windows that are on the side and rear of the building. Several of them, more than several, many of them in the existing rear elevation were replaced around 2014 or 15, I think it was. It's in the notes. There are a bunch of Marvin Wood Ultimate single glazed windows, but nevertheless new. There's a Brosco or Boston sash window that's mixed in there. The couple of originals that are left are failing. The one on the the upper left is actually got plexiglass over it to try to keep it from leaking. Things are in bad shape. So what I've suggested is that, and what we're requesting is that we could proceed with new windows on the sides and rear elevation per plan, and use the Green Mountain product, but use an all wood SDL so that we actually can kind of reset the life of the windows in these areas of the building for for the next 50 years. So so that proposal's before you tonight. Look, outside of that, there's a bunch of architectural stuff that I'm happy to speak to, but I don't think I need to walk you through it. The drawings are pretty clear between the revision clouds and the notes. So I think maybe I'll stop talking and answer any questions.
Okay, thanks. Mickey?
So, look at the west elevation, please. There you go. That's right there. That's a new gable to the back with a pretty shallow roof pitch. And it just seemed that why create a new gable that doesn't meet the traditional steeper 8, 9, 10 pitch of a standard gable these days. And the windows above it, this might conflict with what I just said, but the windows above it are pretty small for that dormer if it's left the way it is. So one of them should at least change. On the rear of the building, which we feel will probably be pretty visible from the lily pond, there's a bunch of French doors. I think there's 4 of them. There you go. Four French doors. If it's visible, which it might be, is a little excessive. It's a lot of glazing, and so we'd like to see that reduced to maybe a pair of French doors with flanking windows, and in any event have, and maybe they're there, but I can't see it, kick panels in those doors. Not sure. They should have kick panels. So on the front of the building, the existing portico is of an attractive style. It's been on there forever. I think it does actually match the ornamentation on the building in terms of the projecting rakes. And I think it's just a shame to remove, if you look at the photograph.
Yep.
At the front, this.
Yeah, really good. There you go. Joe's holding. Go one more. Joe had a better picture. There you go.
Yeah.
So that seems to us a more appropriate detailed portico than the proposed one, which is sort of plain and lacking any sort of detail or character that relates to the building. So we'd much prefer to keep that as is. Thank you.
Mickey, thanks a lot. Okay, I think it's to the board now.
I could start the conversation.
Thanks, Abby, I appreciate it.
So I know that, that little turn in, well, actually, that's not true. I guess it's one house in from that little parking off North Liberty, but it's still visible the west side. And I think that's an important elevation to look at besides the front of the house. I'm kind of missing that little hip roof that's far back and the smaller additive massing off the back of this building. And I agree that the French doors, 4 French doors, that's a lot of glazing looking up from the lily pond. So I think that's a bit of too much change on that west, and we're losing some of that historic thread. The front of the house, I'm not so concerned. I think it's, I do miss that old-fashioned portico entrance over the front door, but basically when I first looked at this, I thought it was a good renovation to an old house. But I would I would do less on that west side and going back, the additive massing going back towards the lily pond. I think it's, at least it should come down so that it is an additive mass and not a, you know, a tail wagging the dog. So those are my initial thoughts. Thank you.
Abby, thank you. Connie, Joseph?
Go ahead.
I don't, yeah, I don't disagree with what Abby said. And I did like the original portico on that south elevation. I like the additional window on the south, on the second floor. I think that looks nice. And I agree with the French doors on the north elevation, if that can somehow be brought down to 2. I think that would be better. Thank
Okay,
you.
Connie. Thank you. Joe?
Yeah, let's see, looking at the south elevation facing the street, I do like the existing entryway, and I'm wondering, I think this is going to get held for revision, so something to think about. You could make no change to it, or if you kept it wide like it is, I do think that you could get that arch to happen. I think it's kind of nice that it's in keeping with the existing entryway. So I wouldn't be against you changing the width of that overall, but I think having that see-through to the elliptical top transom, I think makes sense. And I agree with Abby regarding the hip that is on the existing west. And I think if you could potentially hip that new porch entry, you'd see a hip instead of the cheek wall of that shed roof on the front. If you go back up to the south elevation, to the left of the front door there, you see that cheek wall. I think if that became a hip, it's going to actually look more like what's the existing structure. And on the back, I like Mickey's suggestion about the double French doors with kick panel flanked by windows. I think that would be appropriate. I think those are my comments. Sorry, west elevation, that triple window that Mickey referenced, it does seem like that is, that piece itself feels a little bulky. I don't know if it's because the dormer's so close to the edge or it's just a lot of shingle area. I think I would take a look at that.
Is that the part, Joe, if I could just ask a question, because I'm a little confused about what I think you and Abby are both saying. The that 5-pitch gable that Mickey identified, is that where you're suggesting maybe that also becomes a gambrel roof? Am I understanding what you're saying right?
This piece?
The piece below that, Joe.
this.
Yeah, right there. Is
No,
that,
I was-
that what you and Abby were talking about, or?
I was referring to this piece here so that you don't see that cheek wall from the front.
Oh,
I do think that could
I
become
see.
a,
Okay.
I like that gable.
I mean, that was just a direct response to the massing off the back that has that rather shallow gable is existing today.
Right.
And so I was trying to figure out a way to make that feel like it was a little more present on the design, that it actually was a positive and maybe not the negative that we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that shallow gable, but I think to the right of it,
Yeah.
if that was hipped back, then the front elevation, you wouldn't get that triangular cheek wall.
Okay.
And
Got it. So
it's
not
up
gable.
above, it's up above that gable on the west. Those 3 windows that are up there, that just feels a little top heavy.
Yeah, I can certainly hip the roof over that side porch, right? And at that same 5 or 6 pitch, whatever it is, I can't see it from here. And we could certainly grow those 3 windows up above it.
Yeah. Those are my comments. I mean, by the way, I would like to say that your presentation in terms of what you're keeping, what you're removing, and the era that they came from using the color coding, super clear. And it's, I might copy you.
Yeah.
So it's really legible.
I'd be honored, Joe.
It's really. All right, that's it.
Great, Joe. Thank you. And I think we've covered everything that needs to be covered on this one. So I'm in line with the comments that have been made.
Motion for a few
oh.
revisions?
Hold for revisions, right?
Yeah, unless, yeah, I think it's important to see this again.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Motion to hold for revisions.
So Abby's motion is to hold for revisions. On that motion, Connie,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
and I'm in favor.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Stephen, thank you. Okay, now we have a load for TNT roofing. Is that you, Linda? Can we handle them in a bundle?
Yeah.
Great.
You ready?
Yeah.
This is commercial, this is Old South Wharf, all the commercial buildings, you know, where Sushi is and Slip 14 and the restaurant, they're all commercial buildings. Number 1, 2, 3, and 10 have a variety of roof colors. You know, we can't get that green anymore. Some are
Right.
gray, some are dual gray, some are green. They're all going to Moray Black Architectural, which is approved in the Old Historic District. They've taken quite a beating down there, as you can imagine. And Slip 14 is going to wood from, I believe it's some sort of a dual gray, and it's going to go to wood. That's the restaurant.
The tall building?
Most of these are the lower buildings on the north side, and some of them are, the 14 is obviously Slip 14 Restaurant, which is on the south side of Old South Wharf.
Oh yeah, Slip 14 butts against that.
Yeah, and 10 is closer to the cobblestones. See, the Love Shack is on the north side. So all those little buildings on there, 1, 3, 2 is on the south side, but that's up next to the Anglers Club. So they're all the commercial buildings. And all the roofs are not in great shape anymore.
Wood doesn't blow off.
Well, it's on the south side. Maybe it'll get blocked by the ones on the north side. But they wanted wood on the restaurant, Slip 14.
Okay.
So that's the story.
All right. Linda, thank you.
No concerns.
No concerns. Fabulous. Okay. What do we think, folks?
I'm good.
Abby's good.
No concerns.
Connie's good too.
I'm fine with it too, especially
There it
if
is.
Nikki's group is fine with it.
Yeah, especially because of that.
Did you do them all at one time?
Yep, we'll do them all at one time. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve numbers 17 through 21, all of the NIR retail buildings on Old South Wharf. May I have that motion?
A
So
motion to
moved.
approve as submitted,
All right.
items 17 through 21.
Thank you so much, Connie. On Connie's motion, Joe,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
and I'm in favor.
Thank you.
Ba-ding. Now is Val is holding hers, I'm sure. Bush, right? Are there people in the queue here? Because I'm preparing to break early.
Yep, sorry, Tori.
You mean yeah, no, I will definitely make it through new business, but for those of you listening in on Zoom, I'm not sure we're going to get to the old business that's coming after, because our board, as you can all tell, has been decimated tonight. Okay, so Val Oliver's stuff is being held for rep. That leads us to Tori with a new fence. 18 High Brush Path.
8. Does it say 18? No, 8.
It says 8, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I was looking at the one above it, says 18, or no, it says 181B, never mind. Okay. 8.
Ready for me?
Yep.
Okay, so I
Ready for
did
you.
in reviewing this just now, sitting here, realize I forgot the locus. I do have it open on my computer if you'd like me to share it. So this property, if any of you are familiar with Austin Farm, does a 180U into Highbrush Path. And this is, I believe, the first house as you come around to the other side of and become Highbrush Path on the left. This property line where we're proposing the fence abuts 8 and 10 Austin Farm that has, those are the photos of the fence that I've included, that already has the fence that we're proposing. And we're looking to extend it from where it ends on, if I can get directional, the property line you're looking at with the red right there is the west, a little bit southwest of the existing property that's the applicant's property. And it's the northeast of 10 and 8 Highbrush Path, or Austin Farm, excuse me, that already have this fence. So we're looking to extend a fence that the other properties already have around our property.
So the red dash line
Is the proposed fence.
and the existing fence is all the rest?
So I should have submitted a Google photo. I did submit 2 photos from the driveway between 8 and 10 Highbrush Path, which is there. That's 8. You're looking at the new build renovation is 8. Sorry, I keep saying Highbrush. That's 8 Austin Farm behind the fence. So that fence is between 8 and 10 and goes back towards the property. It lands right where we want to start our fence, which is, I will mention, behind the corner of the garage, substantially back from the front property line.
I have a question for it.
Yeah.
That structure that we were just looking at,
Yeah, that's 8 Austin Farm.
that's 8 Austin Farm.
You got it.
And that, okay. So that structure is not your structure?
No, not at all. Mine's established, already built. No renovations, just adding the fence.
Hey, Tori.
Yeah.
I got a question too.
Yeah.
All right, so my site plan okay. Now, the red dash line, which is your proposal, right?
Yep.
Ends right at the margin of the sheet. Does it just coincidentally stop there?
Yes, we're not going any farther than that.
But what's beyond that?
The corner of the lot, and that's why I can show you guys on my computer. I have it open if you want the locus. 8 Highbrush Path, I believe, ends at the bend where my red fence bends. I mean, sorry, 8 Austin Farm. God, I keep doing that. To the west of this.
Is this unclear to anyone but myself?
It's unclear to me.
Was wondering if I could, so we can't see the site plan, is that correct? I mean, you know, so ooh, that's large.
There's 8 and there's 10. Austin Farm. So this fence is going from here to there. The rest of this would not have a fence. So it's ending like right.
Oh, here we go. It's on the screen.
When we're on top. Oh, thank you. There you go. So this is gonna go basically not even all the way to the end of 8 Austin Farm. It's gonna go basically just that little distance that I have on our site plan.
Okay, so where's,
And it looks like the garage is not on the locus.
so the house that we were looking at in your photograph, was it this one?
The other one above it.
That
8, yeah.
Okay. And that existing fence you have goes.
It's in between 8 and 10.
Okay.
Going east-west.
It's between them.
Yes.
What's the height of the fence? Sorry.
5 feet, yeah.
5 feet.
I'm confused. The fence that you're doing is perpendicular to the fence that's there?
Yes.
So the property
Where
line,
that finger is running along that line, that's where we're proposing the fence. It would end right there.
and the existing one
Is east
perpendicular
west,
to that,
perpendicular to that
between
between
8 and 10.
Austin Farm.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What do you think, guys? A, is it clear? And B, do you have any comments or concerns?
I don't have the head to understand this tonight, unfortunately.
I just wish that the site plan would have extended beyond the margin, because it looks like it's just sort of running off the page right now.
I'd be happy to submit.
Ray,
Yes. Oh, my goodness, Diane. Diane?
I finally, yes,
My
here I
goodness.
am
All right.
again.
Well, we're gonna adjourn after this new business stuff. So not too many more applications, but we'll definitely involve you in the remainder. But for now, Diane, sit tight, because we're in the middle of an
Yep.
application. All
I
right.
just glad, right, I just glad I got it straightened out so I could hear you.
Yeah, me too.
All righty,
Okay.
thank you.
So I'm gonna try and expedite this, and that would be to say, to adjust this site plan so that we can see inside of the framework, like where the extent of the fence, and that it's just not running off the page.
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest, I'm happy to submit a full site plan showing the 130 feet and where it begins and
Yeah.
ends, if that, through staff, if that
Is
would
that all
work
right
for
with
you.
everybody? Oh,
Yes,
through
please.
staff?
Yeah, I would really like to understand where the fence is existing. I mean, you've explained it, but it would be useful to see it graphically.
Okay.
And the fence that you're proposing looks like it's not extending to High Brush Path. And where I'm fuzzy at is whether or not there's an existing fence that goes all the way to High Brush Path, or are you starting your fence? I want to make sure this fence isn't on the road. Is
Yeah,
basically
absolutely.
where I'm.
There's no existing fence to High Brush Path. It's only perpendicular between 8 and 10.
Right, and you're proposing it to start somewhere.
In this
where
particular
fence
locus,
is.
it's at that corner of the
Looks like
house.
From there, oh, it's at the corner. of the
Yeah,
house.
because this particular locus doesn't show the garage.
Yeah.
But in this particular locus, it would be starting at the corner of the house, going back to just behind that secondary building as
It's,
it turns the corner. Right there. it
are
would
we able to
stop.
make a motion to have that information reviewed at the next meeting?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
sounds
no,
like
I understand.
it's just a clarification graphically, and then when we
Yep.
say
Yeah.
we're fine with it,
Yeah, if you look at the site plan here, you'll see that if the garage was not there, the house would match what the locus shows.
yeah, that was confusing me
Yeah,
too.
so
but
that's
the-
where it's starting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah. So that would be a motion for additional information to show more context and the delineation of the proposed fence as well as the neighbor's fence
You
and
got
how they relate to one another.
Sure.
Okay. Thanks
At
for
the next meeting.
And review at the
yes,
next meeting.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe. On that motion, Abby,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
I'm in favor.
Thank you.
Okay, there you go. And how about all these structures unlimited?
I think that's Linda.
Oh, that's Linda, okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, right, you said that you were gonna-
Simple. You guys have already allowed these two cottages to come off of Jefferson Avenue down towards Cliffside. Moved out to Skyline Drive to Kim Glowacki's his own property. Now another member of the Glowacki family wants to take them, so we're asking to move them off the lot again and over to Macy Lane behind Joan Bunting's house onto one of the lots that she has. So we've already moved them out to Skyline. Now we're gonna move them over to Macy.
Oh, I see. You've got the move-offs and the move-ons.
Yeah,
And the demo, it says here, that's not
No,
demo, right?
there's no demo involved.
Okay.
They're gonna be
Oh, it
reused
says-
again as cottages, but now
Oh,
moved over to
Okay,
Macy
I'm
Lane.
gonna try and expedite this. So, does anybody have any objections to moving the studio off of 44 Skyline Drive?
No.
No.
Okay, let's move that.
Motion.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Okay,
No.
there's Connie's motion. On the motion, Abby,
Aye.
Diane.
That was Diane.
No, that was Abby, wasn't it?
Yes, that was Abby.
Aye.
Okay, there's Diane, Joe,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Okay, so the studio is moved off. Now that's moving on to 14 Macy. So let's now go to 14 Macy. This is the move on of same.
Move on of same.
Look at a site plan. It's not clear which is the moved building.
Well, they're both moving. now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're both coming off. They
They're-
both went to Skyline and they're
okay.
both going over to
Get it.
Macy.
I got it.
Um,
Okay. All right. So does anybody have any objections to this moving on to 14 Macy Lane as per the site plan?
No,
No objection.
not from Abby.
That's
No.
from Abby. Okay, are we all good?
Yes.
All right. Sounds like everybody's good. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, there's the motion to move on. That came from Connie. On the motion, Joe,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane, Connie.
Aye.
Aye.
And there's Diane, and I'm in favor. There's that. Okay,
Same
so
thing, but the actual little
That's-
cottage.
14 Macy. And now we got a cottage at 44 that's moving off. Anybody have any problems with the cottage moving off of 44?
No.
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 Okay, let's move.
Motion to approve is submitted. the
Okay,
move
so
off.
there's from Joe to move off the cottage on Joe's motion. Connie,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
Very good.
Aye.
Connie on your motion?
Oh, Joe.
Aye.
Aye.
What was my motion?
Oh,
I was
Joe on your
last.
motion, and I'm in favor. So that was the move off, and now we're gonna do the move on to 14 Macy as per the site plan. Any objections there?
None.
None. Okay.
No.
Motion from somebody?
No.
Motion to- Submitted.
Okay, so Connie has made a motion to approve the move on to 14 Macy. On that motion, Joe,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye. Aye.
thank you,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. There
Sorry.
it is. Nice,
Ew.
tidy package. And do we have anybody for this 12 Wapossit circle? No? All right, kids, listen, thank you all for attending. I didn't think we were gonna
No.
get anything out of the meeting tonight, and we actually covered a fair amount of ground considering. Okay, so hey, how about minutes? Before you all depart. Do we have minutes on here? Oh, well, it says approved minutes. Do you want an approval from those?
Minute. We got,
I was told that we need to approve some minutes.
Oh, September, November, December.
September 26th, September 28th, and December 5th.
Well, hang on,
That sound right?
hang on a sec. I would like to. All right, so yes, Diane, the motion would be to approve the minutes of September 26th, November 28th, and December 5th. Can I have a motion?
5th.
Was that a motion, Diane?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Diane has made a
Yes.
motion to
Yes.
approve the minutes of
Yes.
September. Yeah, I got it. Approve the minutes of September 26th, November 28th, and December 5th. On Diane's motion, Joe,
Aye.
Right.
Connie,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane on your motion. I think that was an aye. I'm in
Aye.
favor. Oh, there you
Aye.
are. Okay, very good. Okay.
Aye.
And finally, let's,
Yes.
why don't we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, that was John McLaughlin, made a motion to adjourn on John's motion. Joe,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and I'm in
Aye.
favor.
Aye. Aye.
There we go.
Aye.
Okay, thank you all very much. Night, night.
Ugh. I said not to turn out the lights. Who turned out the lights?
Good night, Diane.
Good night. Good night.
Night,
There-
Diane.
Good night, Diane. And Abby.
Good night. Good night. Sorry for such a mess.
It's all right. Computers.
Uh,
One.
I'm going to take this, shove it over to Zoom.